I need to, okay, just give me a second. We are live, and as usual, I'm just setting up things. Got it.
One second. One second.
Everybody needs to put their mics on mute. Right. All right. Okay, we are live, and uh, here we are, Women's Day, and how come we have to celebrate Women's Day with mothers? Sandhya, can you all put your mics on mute right now so that it doesn't interfere? Katrina is here. Hi, Katrina. Good morning. Happy Women's Day. She's going to join in. We have these I mean, every woman in the book is incredible. The way I found them, their stories, every single thing that they've done and achieved and overcome is just so gorgeous. But of course, one day I will bring all 100 together in person. But right now, we will start only with six and start doing what we need to. And I was talking to Sandhya, I think, when this whole thing came into my mind. I was just, as usual, when I do conversations, things just come and I just start announcing things here and there, and this is what we're going to do, etc. And I told Sandhya that impossible is possible, impossible is nothing, is what came to my mind. And I said, we must do an event on Women's Day talking about it. But then I came to know my Nike slogan is impossible is nothing. So I probably couldn't use it. So now I have a better line saying impossible is possible, because impossible is possible, because the six incredible women who are going to be here have made all impossible possible in every single way. So I welcome my panelists here. They are moms in the book, more than panelists. They are friends. They are holding on to the book. They are supporting the book. They are supporting the whole movement, and I'm just blessed to have all of them. We are still waiting for LJ to join in. I hope she can join us today. But if she can't, we will bring her again in another event. So welcome everybody. As usual, when I say moms who live their story tell their story the best, but can we just start by introducing ourselves and our message? And we start with Lucy, going to Janine, Shillian, Aarti, and then Sandhya. So I'm going to put the stage is all yours. Just introduce yourself and why are you here? I know we will go ahead talking about impossible, but right now, what's your message to the world? And just introduce yourself. So I'm going to go on mute now. Lucy, the stage is yours.
Okay, let me unmute myself. Thank you. I'm Lucy Rosastagia. Thank you, Shika, for inviting me. This is an honor for me to be here. Shika thinks I'm doing the impossible, but to me, this is, my whole life has been a possibility. It's so I've never been ever been focused on my age, and so I think that people are thinking because of my age, this is an impossible thing. But I feel very young, and I think that we're aging. The lifespan is growing longer and longer, so we're aging, and at my age, when you retire, you may have another 30 years. What are you going to do? Sit on the couch and do nothing? Absolutely not. This is what I call the third act of my life, So we're in the third act of our life. And so it's a new era, and it's the time to take what you know best, your expertise, your knowledge, and then share it with people. And so that way you can impact other people's lives. And why wouldn't you want to do that? You hear all the time, do not go to the grave with the song in your heart. Well, don't go to the grave with the knowledge and the expertise that you have, because it's a gift that you're given. And people may not think, oh, well, what knowledge do I have? What expertise? You have experience of life. There's, life, age, there's wisdom in the age. It's the experience that you have, and you don't have that in the youth. What you have when you're younger is youth, and you have that vitality, even though I have still the vitality. I think I have more vitality than 25-year-olds, but the experience that you have of in your lifetime is of value, and you can do so much with that and impact so many people's lives. And that's what I'm here to do. I want to create a more meaningful life every day. I want to be a better version of myself every day. Our mind is so powerful. Whatever we think we can do, we can do. If we think we can't do it, we can't do it either. Depends on how you think. Your mind is powerful. Just because you're retiring, you're not retiring from life, you're just retiring from a job. And usually the job, we know what the job means, it's just over broke. So if you want to do anything with the rest of your life, like I want to travel more. I want to be able to help my family. I want to create this village for the octogenarians in my village. I mean, I have so much to do. I have so many thoughts in my head that every day I wake up and think, how can I serve better? And why wouldn't you want to do that? I mean, the other alternative is sit on the couch and watch on Netflix. There's no way I'm going to do that. I'm active. I keep myself healthy. And anybody can do it, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's not a matter of age. It's a matter of your what's in here, what's between your two ears, and we can all go for it. And folks, I mean, if you think that, oh my God, I'm 50 or I'm 60 and I'm getting old, no, you're not. It's the third act of your life begins when you're 65, 70. So you've got another 30 years to go. So don't worry about it. Just live life the best way you can. And you know what? We are really here. Our purpose is to serve other people. There's no greater gift than serving other people. So I'm going to stop talking now. So thank you, Shika, for this opportunity to tell what's impossible, but I think it's all possible. Thank you.
And Lucy, anyway, I mean, right now, all of us are sitting, you're the only one who's standing. You know that? You're 76 years old, you're the only one standing. And when you do your events, you're standing and you're jumping and you're dancing and you're doing so many things. And when I'm sitting, I'm like, Lucy is standing. How dare I sit down and at 40? Because I've started to feel like a teenager. And at 76, you are all there. And why I brought you here was that you launched your social media business at 71.
I did.
At 71, you started to learn social media. The world was changing. Things were totally going different. And here's Lucy at 71 saying, oh, well, I need to do something else. And then she starts a social media business to teach social media to people who are 60 and above. Like that's her speech. And that's why I'm here with Lucy's message, because Lucy is one person I really have to go and give a tight hug to, because she's inspired me to become, like when I was touching 40 this year, earlier I would have thought I've touched 40. I'm like, oh, I'm just 40. People like Lucy are just crushing it at 76, teaching other people at 71 how first she learned it herself. And then she taught everybody else how to be on social media. Where at 40, I sit down and I'm like, I can't figure out the tech, right? So thank you, Lucy, for being you. Thank you for supporting this. She's definitely supporting this with so much heart and so much love, Lucy, that I don't have more things to say. So thank you for all your love and support to all of us and inspiring us like this always. Janine, you're next. Let's go ahead. Janine has done something impossible as well once she turned 40. So we will listen to Janine now. And go ahead, Janine. Stage is yours.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to be on this panel of very strong women. My name is Janine Hebert. I wear a lot of hats. I am a community volunteer. I am an LGBTQ activist. I'm openly bisexual. I run a backpack program for food insecurity on weekends within our local schools, and I am a competitive power lifter. And my message and my MO, I guess, in life is just that be the change that you want to see in the world. All of us are worthy of doing great things and giving back to our communities and stuff like that, because that is what life is. It's just we're all part of this giant collective. And I feel like women are able to come together and like heal any place that, like, anything that women, a group of women coming together can just move mountains. And I'm for that all day long. I'm 41, turning 42 in May, and I'm going to be going back to school for a community social worker. That is stuff that is very, very dear to my heart. I want to work with LGBTQ youth and families. And I'm just here to shake things up and get people to think outside of their boxes, and what they think they know about a certain demographic is not what you think you know. And let's just all love each other, and let's just all be the best human beings that we can be.
Janine, I also wanted, I mean, I heard a story before you. Janine, I think this is how it is. My memory is good when it comes to some things, and I very conveniently forget a lot of things when I talk about it. But I remember stories of all my moms, so that's a good thing to say. Janine told me that she had seen a video of an 80-year-old doing weightlifting or powerlifting when she saw an 80-year-old woman on a YouTube, and she was turning 37, 38, and I don't know.
Yeah, I was 37 when I started powerlifting, and it was totally after seeing a video of master women. So the M4 would be 70 and up for women. And these women were squatting 300 pounds. And I thought, if those women can do that in their 70s and 80s, I can definitely do that when I'm 37. And I ran with it, and within 3 years became national champion and became Pan American champion last year. And it's one incredible ride. And I feel like I've said this to my teammate, Carol, that I love watching the young girls come into the gym, because 5 years ago, there was less teenage girls and women coming to lift. And now 5 years later, the amount of women coming into that weight room and throwing a barbell on their back, like I love that.
Yeah. And that's why impossible is nothing, because of course when we are hitting 40s, we start thinking that we're going to go that. I mean, for me, it's no more. I think everybody who are crushing it in the world are all above 60 in the book for sure. So Janine, you and me are definitely like teenagers in front of them. We better not. We have a 99-year-old mom. When Teresa's mother comes in, her message at 99 is unbelievable. And when I ask, and she's still dreaming at 99. She's still dreaming at 99. Teresa herself is biking and doing things at 67, 68 every day. So I think this book is really bringing out the impossible is possible through all you women who are in the book in many, many ways. And when the book comes out, by that time, I'll make sure that all of you are very, very well known with what you guys are knowing. That's the whole idea, that by the time you hit India, all of you know each other, but the world also knows you. So that's my vision, and I'm walking towards that. So thank you, Janine, for being you. And I know that you're a writer, you want to write, and you have a lot of other things. But when I see you weightlifting, when you're a national champion, when I say that those weights, I was just like, I was just so amazed. And I better start running. I started Run for Mums only for this reason, that I better start walking at least if Janine is picking up lifts. Shilian, we are next. Another very, very love mom. Shilian, your enthusiasm, your love, your unbeatable way of embracing life is so inspiring that I mean, the way you talk itself is so inviting, Shilian. So let's go ahead. Impossible is possible. Stage is yours. Let's give the message to the world.
First of all, Sheikha, thank you so much for blessing me with the opportunity to be here with all these amazing moms. Congratulations. Thank you for all that you guys do. Happy International Women's Day to all of you. And to all our listeners who are worldwide, happy International Day. Sheikha, I started my journey being blind at the tender age of 24. Keep in mind, I was thinking at that time, if I was going to be 84, I still have 60 years of my life that I have to live. And remember, at 24, I was living life to the fullest. I had I was working at my dream job when I got severely burnt on my face, neck, chest, arms, and hands. As a result, I lost my eyesight and the use of both of my hands. Thankfully, miraculously, after the birth of my son, my hands healed. But since this journey have taught me, and when you told me that you're getting together these amazing women who are impossible is possible, that is my message to the world, that no matter what difficulty in life that you may face right now, everything is possible. After losing my eyesight, I started painting with my knuckles because I couldn't even hold a paintbrush in my hand. From then on, I started spending hours in my studio learning and developing my craft. Keep in mind, I never painted before in my life. So just imagine, and this is actually one of them that I did. But everything is possible once you set your heart and mind to. The most scariest thing for me, Sheikha, was being a mom. After losing my eyesight, I went on a journey of self-healing to make sure that I truly love and appreciate myself before I ask another person to love and appreciate me. And this is, as moms, we forget to do that as individuals, that we need to make sure that what we're putting out there in the world, that first we have to love and appreciate ourselves. And this is the mirror that we have to show the world. And, I had to develop this gift of loving and appreciating everything through my art, through my spoken words as a motivational speaker. And with my husband, we created an amazing, beautiful child. And this was the scariest thing I ever did in my life. Trust me, till this day, holding my son was the most precious gift. And my only wish is for one day that I'll be able to see him.
Shreyan, there's so much that we can learn from you. But the miracle that happened, that for me, for this book, I mean, I usually don't get tired of it. I must tell you how I got to Shreyan, and I've never reached out to any mother calling, just message somebody I don't know. I've always found somebody through somebody and figured out my way of finding these 100 moms. And one fine day, right in the middle of a lot of chaos with both my kids talking to me, there was a movie that was getting launched by Sonia Ricotti. And that was a launch, and I'm like, I really need to watch this movie right now. It was a 2-hour movie. And I don't know why I sat through it, and of course there were all my favorite speakers in it as well. And then suddenly I see Shreyan in the movie. And the minute I see Shreyan in the movie, my first wish is, she's for my book, for sure. And then I'm like, I wish she's a mom. And the next, because the book was all about moms, and the next scene was she with her child and her husband. So I was like, yes. And I just messaged Shreyan immediately. And I said, Shreyan, I don't know how I got a chance to see this 2 hours, but I saw that movie because you needed to be in the book. And Shreyan was very open about it. She actually we connected, and she said, I feel the connection. And she stepped into the book, and she is here with us. But impossible is, she definitely is, her work is incredible. She's worked tremendously. She's worked very, very hard to reach there. Shreyan, we are very proud of you, and the journey's just started. You're going to really launch the YouTube channel of teaching people how to paint, and you're just incredible. Okay, we have Donna trying to come in. So she's not part of the panel, but she's such a love mom. I'm going to try and get her in. I think Lucy posted the Zoom link by mistake, so Donna is now joining in. She's supposed to be here, I think, and that's why now we're going to get Donna in as well. She was meant to be here, but she's also doing some impossible things, so we will get her in as well.
I thought I took that down before it went.
Donna saw it. Donna was meant to be in the meeting live. Okay, I think Francis is coming in. We'll get Francis in sometime. Francis will get you in. You're in the comments as well. Aarti is next. And Aarti, I am okay. Everybody needs to know the secret that she's my sister-in-law. Everybody must know the secret that, but she's not here because she's my sister-in-law. She's here because she is every day crushing it with so many women. Her message to the world is a reversal of PCOS. People believe that PCOS cannot be reversed naturally, and Aarti is leading a movement in India where her group right now has 12,000 plus women, But every year, I mean, every month they're doing events after events and making it possible through five great pillars. But I will not take the stage. The stage is yours, Aarti. Please tell people about your message, about what is impossible. People think is impossible. But it's totally possible. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Shikha, for having me here. What is PCOS? So, nice question, Lucy. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. So, that's what PCOS. It's a disorder. It's a lifestyle disorder, and what it makes impossible for a lot of women is to become a mother. So, like Shilian said, that this is the most wonderful thing that she experienced. A lot of women are deprived of this feeling, and apparently the message around specifically in India is that it's impossible to reverse this disorder and you can only manage it via pills. And that's why I completely relate to what you said, Lucy. The purpose of us is to serve, and that's what I'm doing for the women community. And I loved what Janine said, that when we all stand together and work together, everything becomes possible. And that's what I am working on for the women, by the women. It's a women's community, making sure women are able to not only reverse this disorder but live a very healthy, happy life. And we've had more than 20 women who have also conceived and delivered naturally, after having failed IUIs, after having failed IVFs, after being told that you have to adopt a child, and they have become mommies. And that's what my journey is all about, to make sure that they do not pop pills, they reverse their disorder, and they live a healthy life. Because unfortunately, even today, periods, lack of sexual drive, infertility are taboo words. And I'm making a community where a woman can come and speak freely and say, hey, I'm not having interest in sex, what can I do? I'm not getting my periods, what can I do? I'm not able to conceive, what can I do? And there are women who are sharing knowledge, and we're working together. And I'm blessed that I got this opportunity. I'm a medium in this journey. I am really humbled to be here, and you girls and ladies have inspired me to another level. I'm super, super excited. Janine, I also work out, and every single day I lift weights, not as much as you, but it's so good to see women lifting weights. So yay. And that's it. That's my story. I'm Aarti, and I'm related to Shikha, and I just love being around her. And every time we meet, we sneak out. So we go to the kitchen and we are working, and then we sneak out. There's a small nice garden behind Shikha's house, and we sit there, and there sometimes we are discussing books, we are just discussing everything but not gossiping. And that's what women power is. It's not all about just gossiping or discussing blah blah blah, mother-in-law, la la la. You know, we are beyond that, and that's the truth, and that has to come out. So thank you, Shikha, for having me here.
Thank you, Aarti. I mean, I totally love you. You know that. But PCOS is, I think it's two in every five women in India have PCOS. Two in every.
One in every five.
One
One
in
in every
five women have PCOS.
One in every five.
Yeah. So one in every five women, and it's going down to teenagers now. And just the minute you're hitting like 14, 15 your puberty or something, and women are getting PCOS, and that's the kind of numbers we have. It's a very big number, and she's working very hard. And now she started a campaign as well, where they're going down to underprivileged people, and they've launched that campaign this month. In India, even having basic sanitary napkins for girls is very difficult, and that's the campaign they're heading now. And they're going to be giving sanitary napkins through. We all have to do something. I still don't know the whole project, but we'll get back to that announcement as well. And if we do that with a hashtag or something, I think certain amount of sanitary napkins are donated to the underprivileged. So I think great work is being done. This is just a beginning. They are, I mean, I see videos of reversal. Women never even thought, I mean, PCOS, it's like their arms and their legs and their ears to them now. That's how they carry PCOS as a disease. And they thought that they can never ever conceive naturally or do many things. Aarti and her team, including her husband, are working extremely hard, and of course getting a lot of love from a lot of people by reversing it. So I'm a big supporter of Aarti's mission as well, because living with the disease is not easy, and if we can make just make them realize that it can be reversed naturally without interference of pills and anything, I think a lot of good work would be done. Sandhya, you're next. Sandhya, you are next. And I mean, what can I say about Sandhya now? I've known Sandhya almost for 11 years or maybe more. And she did design my wedding outfits and everything. I just go to Sandhya for my outfits. That's how much I love her. But she's not here because she designed my wedding outfit. She's here because she's a very, very inspiring person. I've always looked up to her for many things. She has even worked with special needs children and used their designs in, their art in the design is just one of the things that she's done. She does so much. And I remember as a mom, she was 8 months pregnant and doing project in US. She had just flown to US when she was 8 months pregnant, almost 25 years back, when it was unheard of that women could travel. I mean, her daughter is 22. Sandhya, is she 22 now?
Now she's 26.
Wow. So 27 years back, it was unheard of Indian woman traveling all the way to the US and actually working in her 8 months to 7 months pregnancy. So Sandhya has many facets to her, but she's here because she also did an impossible thing for Indian Republic Day. The stage is yours, Sandhya. Please go ahead and talk about your message and mission, and we'll take it from there.
Hi, guys, and happy Women's Day. So every day is the Women's Day. So today it's just extra special because somebody's marked it out for us. But that's okay. Let's celebrate because it's marked out for us. But every single day is ours and we make it ours only. When I say that, I really mean because we've been bestowed with the power to create. And what else do we need? When we can create, we can make the change that we're looking for, and we'll make it a change with a purpose, with a responsibility. And that spreads across, whether we are doing it for PCOS or whether we are doing for weightlifting or whether we are working with the abilities of people. It's that one spark that you have identified and then the change with that we are making. So I'm completely with all of you when you say that, age is not a deterrent, it's just a number. And why look at the age at all? That's just a number. We are young from our heart and we have things to do, and impossible is possible. So there is no impossible at all. So what Shikha is referring to is about the Republic Day, where we had exactly 1.5 weeks to deliver 489 costumes for a grand feat for the country. The Republic Day of India is very important, and it just happened. And then there was no saying, oh, I don't have time. You've taken the task, you finish it. And that's how I went about it. So that's something incredible. But what's more important is that the ability to use your expertise, like the other friend of mine has just said, giving back to the society, serving people, is how do you use your expertise and connect the dots. So in my case, I am a designer. I do costumes, I do clothing, I do textiles. I connect this with the art that I use, that is dancing. And how do I touch upon people's weavers' lives, and how do I bring back a circle of sustainability for them, as to people to appreciate what fabrics are all about, what meaningful design intervention is all about. So that's what I feel, that everyone, whatever specialization you have, look back and say, is it responsible? Are we sowing the seeds of responsibility in it? Like now, if you're talking about the pads, there's a whole lot of people who are making pads, like you have the cups and you have sanitary panties, which you can just be washed. It's environmental friendly. Now we are aware of so many things happening around us. So each one, whatever little decision we're taking in our area of work, just have to be tweaking it towards asking these questions. Is it a responsible, circular, and a sustainable way we're working on? And we as women will make the change, are there to make the change and to hold everything together. That's all I want to say right now. I'm really eager to hear all of you say whatever you want to share with me about your experiences. Shikha, wonderful to have you ask me to come here, and wonderful being here listening to all these exciting women with so many things they have done in their lives.
Yes, Sandhya, and I mean, you working with weavers very closely, always thinking of everybody she she works with. She's very careful, I know, of how it's impacting environment. She's very careful how it's impacting the weaver's life. She's very careful, even her bags in which she gives stuff. It's so beautifully done, but everything, like you enter Sandhya's space, and there's nothing else but consciousness about environment and how things need to be done. And I've learned a lot from her about I mean, the whole knowledge of fabric. I've spent a lot of time in her studio. I used to go a lot to her studio, sit down there. She's worked with dancers all her life, I think. All the classical dancers from this country probably have been touched by her costumes and how she's worked with everybody in. So, Sandhya, the reason I've got these varied kind of people is because all spheres, sometimes we think that we need to go through something, only then she needs to bring to light. But Sandhya is only bringing a lot of happiness through her work. She works around happiness. And what she just did for the Republic Day, it's the country's, like, one of the biggest days for this country. And she did these costumes and brought color to the Republic Day when the country's heads are all sitting there. And she brought the culture and the 512 costumes to do and curate it on the stage when the whole world is watching, the whole world. And it's one of the most important days of this country at India Gate, where, I mean, that's the most prestigious thing anybody could do. And she did it, and she brought colors, and she did it immaculately and won an award as well. So that was just amazing, Sandhya. That's why I was like, most people would have said, not possible. It's not possible. 512 costumes for Republic Day, not possible. They would have got stuck in perfectionism. They would have got stuck in so many things. But she and her team just did it. So amazing, Sandhya.
Thank you.
We have LJ. Please unmute yourself. What can I say about LJ? I mean, I more and more I know LJ. I know LJ is doing many impossible things. But LJ has reversed a rare autoimmune, and it was impossible to reverse that autoimmune. And LJ has a beautiful message through that. I've had an autoimmune in my house with my husband, and it took us 5 years to reverse it naturally. But I know that it's quite an effort when it's life-threatening, and LJ has gone through a lot. But today she's standing and inspiring so many people. So impossible is possible. When the world tells you it's not possible, people like LJ step in and say it's all possible. So go ahead, LJ, and let's hear your message to the world.
Shika, thank you so much for having me here. I'm humbled and honored to be in this space with all these empowered, incredible women doing amazing things. And, I do believe the impossible is always possible. My message, my overarching message is we all have limitless potential within. We just have to be open and ready to receive it. And it took me a long time to receive that message. I lived in the darkest days of my life for 12 years in silence. I suffered with a rare autoimmune disorder called Guillain-Barre Syndrome. What this is, it's very rare, and it's where your healthy immune system attacks your nervous system instead of a bacteria or a virus in your body. And I suffered severe neurological damage, and I had foggy brain for years, and I had muscle weakness and numbness and tingling and chronic pain for 12 years. And I have to just say this to Janine. Janine, I became a teacher at 49 years of age, and I was in graduate school raising my 3 children, suffering in silence. And I'm saying this with the utmost humility, because when I look back on my journey, I just put one foot in front of the next. And I just did what I was called to do. And that was to stay on my path, trust the process, and believe that all would be well. And I just got to write a book. Unstoppable. I became an author for the first time to tell about my journey with Guillain-Barre syndrome. And, since I've come to light with my story. So much has snowballed from this. I became an author. I'm in the process of laying a foundation to start a veterans community program here. I just moved from New York, where I was born and raised, lived my whole life, 60 years, and now I'm living in Virginia. And yeah, I've aligned myself with the commander at the post, and I'm on the mission to change veterans' lives, one veteran, one day at a time. And I look at myself and I say, I'm an ordinary woman doing extraordinary things. And to be in a company and hold space with women like this is extremely humbling, extremely empowering. And I believe that I am enough and I'm worthy of my most ideal quality of life. And I feed off of all the people who I come into contact with. And this space here is what motivates me even more and more. But it all started with Guillain-Barre Syndrome for me, because that silence, my voice was silenced for so many years, and I will never be silent again. So I'm thankful to all of you who empower me to help me live my divine truth, my very human existence, and to change veterans' lives. It's what I'm about, to serve the greater good. So happy International Women's Day to all you beautiful women, you know, doing incredible things. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm honored and humbled and privileged to be here.
LJ, we don't want you to be silent anymore anyway, because the message is all out. And you all feel how this book is like so beautiful. Like, can you just see the glimpse of what this book is holding? We just ate. There's so many more women in the book here, and one man who's still waiting in the waiting room right now. I don't know why Donna left and even Francis left, but we'll get in Frank as well. I want Frank to be coming in because he is also doing a lot of impossible things. And amongst us women, he's one man in the book for his mom. So Frank is here, and we'll just get this, we just have 15 more minutes. So we will run one more questions across all of you for your message. But if Frank, you can unmute yourself if you're still there. Otherwise, you hold on. Okay, Frank is not around. He's sent a message, but he's not around. So Frank will get in as well. We will take Frank's message because he's definitely doing an impossible thing of most men would not dare stand with all of us right there. He stands right next to us, not only doing that, but he supports us and he is walking for us. He's doing so many things. So Frank, whenever you're ready, just come on video and we will take you on. All right, so we've just had this, I think most questions have been answered about impossible is possible when all of you were introducing yourself. And this book is all about moms as well doing impossible things. And we definitely have a message for mothers to say that irrespective of all the chaos, mothers do go through so much the minute, but you all are shining examples of still, your dream can be lived, so much can happen. I want, and like you guys can raise your hands when I'm asking this. If there's something, and okay, Frank is here as well. Frank, I will take you on. I was asking a question. I was in my flow, so I'm going to just continue with my flow. My question is that the word impossible is the first word that comes when you start giving up. Like, when I'm like, it's impossible. I don't think so. This can happen. So when the word impossible comes to as a gift or whatever to women and especially mothers, what is it that with your lives, there's something, any story, any example, or any message that you would like to tell people so that they can take that as a nugget from here, from this event, to say, I think impossible is possible, right? So what is it that one thing that you would like to gift to women who are watching or will watch, not only today, slowly YouTube channel is coming up. These interviews are going to be rotated. Why? What is it that they can make a sentence called "impossible is possible"? They should not just stop at impossible. Like, they should not stop. So anybody who would like to talk about that and take the stage right now, you can raise your hands physically as well if it's difficult to raise otherwise. Or should I just take names? Okay, Lucy is there. Lucy, you can start. I think all of you should speak about it because all of you are coming from your experience. We should give some gift to them so that we can encourage some women to not feel it's impossible. They should say impossible is possible from today on when they see this. Lucy, you're on mute.
Okay. I want to laugh at myself. When you think of the word impossible, the biggest part of that word is possible, so the thing, when I realized that my mind was so powerful that I could create my destiny. And then I proved it to myself, I think one of the biggest challenges, what you mentioned, when I decided to go online, I thought I was the most untechy person. And I thought, what are you doing? You have no idea what you're doing. But I've always had that determination that I didn't have anything to prove to myself. I think there was a bigger mission for me. And, so I think for us women, we're very strong with the intuition. I've always been guided by my intuition all my life. And so listening to your intuition will let you know, the possibility of the impossible, I think, so I just, we're much greater than we think we are,
Oh, that's a beautiful message. Lucy, we're much greater than we actually think we are. I mean, just that belief, and to be able to say that to ourselves that we are greater than, we're always looking outwardly and we just keep, admiring, oh, this one is so great and that's so great. But we refuse to figure out that the greatness lies within us as well. And we are greater than. So that's a beautiful message, Lucy. Janine, would you like to say something about it? I mean, you're crushing it with weightlifting and becoming a national champion at that, and doing it so religiously. What would you like to say? Because it is, I mean, for me to even sometimes, I mean, I've picked up camera bags, but just to do what you're doing, my first thing is it's impossible for me. And when I'm talking about this question, it's we thinking it's impossible for me, not the world think it's impossible. So I definitely think it's impossible. I definitely think I will never be able to pick up weights. Like, I'm just talking about an average mind of mine thinking that. So what's the message would you like to say when you stepped into at 37 and saying 80 years it can pick up, I can do it too? What happened that you said it's possible? Because it's a journey. You've taken a journey to what was it in your heart that it made it possible?
Yeah, I totally agree with everything that Lucy has said, that your intuition will guide you. I feel like as we get older, we learn what that inner voice is. When we're younger, we kind of doubt it, right? But I feel like as you come into your confidence as a human, and we're all souls having human experiences, we're all needed here because all of us have certain gifts. So something that I've learned that helps me to make a decision with my intuition and stuff is, if it scares the crap out of me, I'm probably going to do it. Because what is the worst thing that can happen? It didn't turn out, but at least you freaking tried.
Oh, so now we have one message of our intuition, and then we have a message of, if it scares you, you must do it. I have started to operate a little like that. When I stepped into wanting to bring these moms together, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just don't know. What is this 100? It scared me a lot. It still scares me sometimes. That these days all my crashing is happening, but I must confess it to everybody who's watching and doing it. I sometimes sit alone and I'm like, what did you just do? What did you just do? You brought 100 women and now you're going to get into a book and now you're talking about bringing them to India. What are you doing? Like, I sit down with myself and I'm like, what are you doing? You're totally in your senses.
Intuition.
Yeah. And other part of me is like, just You're just panicking. Just calm down. You're absolutely okay.
I
Everything.
think bringing them to India is the best thing you've thought of.
I know, but when I sit with myself in a room and everybody's quiet and slept, believe me, just the thought of that task of bringing them, sponsoring them to come to India and having an event of 4 days of everybody showcasing their bit and the world coming to know the power of 100 moms. Aarti is there. She's been to the place that I was dreaming with her and I was telling her, you know, do you think there are 80 rooms here? So we've been to the place that we want everybody to come. It's a golf course, and I'm already talking
Gorgeous.
like, is this 80 rooms? Are women going to share rooms because there are only 80 rooms and we are 100 moms? Who's not going to share? So we were just sitting and discussing as if it was just happening in 2 weeks' time. So it is going to happen, but it's for me, it's going to happen. So that's why impossible is possible. You know, during COVID, everybody to sit here to sponsor 100 women, to bring them to India, to a place together, matching their schedules, and not a single one missing from the event. Wow, that's going to be something. Everybody's scheduled to be matched on that day, and everybody making it is going to be possible, and we're going to see each other together. Shilian, when you think about the word impossible and add the word possible to it, what is it from your life that you feel that you want to give a message to the world that it is possible? And this is what led you to the possibility of becoming this beautiful, beautiful artist that you've become today after hard work of 8 years.
Okay, so Shika, let's dissect this word now. We're all of us are talking of the word impossible. So let's dissect it. It says, I am possible. So when you look at I am possible, of course, everything is possible. Listen, I started painting with my knuckles because I couldn't hold a paintbrush. And as you say, once you hold anything in your mind, Shika, you have this vision of all us women coming together. And that will happen because once you see it in your mind, it's already happened. Now everything will align itself. Just as you came with a vision to have 100 moms in a book, in such a short time, everything happened because it is possible. The word impossible doesn't exist. It's I am possible. So if we look at life in that aspect, just imagine what we could create. Because then I strongly believe, and this is how I live my life every day, once I see it in my mind, I know I can hold it in my hands, and just I start to have the actions. So what I did, so let's use my art as an example. I started just painting with my knuckles. It was horrible. I couldn't even paint a stick figure, for God's sake. Like seriously, I was that horrible. But I spent 8 hours a day locked in my studio, just trying different things. There were days when I were crying in my studios, my hands were bruised, tears in my eyes. But you know what? I still did it. With my son sleeping, being a mom, a blind mom, just imagine how crazy that is in itself. You know, being a mom itself, it's so difficult. But adding not being able to see what you're doing, to putting on his clothes, to changing his diapers, and doing everything I wanted to do so myself, and I did it. But it's knowing that everything is possible in life. Right. Because we're only limited by what we tell ourselves we can and cannot do. So if we take back that, so if I'm telling you now, Shika, your dream will come true. Believe it, because it will happen in just a short amount of time. Because I remember when you called me, you're like, Shelly, I have so much more moms to do. And within a short amount of time, within a week, you had all these amazing moms lined up. So it is possible. Everything is possible. And it's such an honor. I have to say, all the amazing moms, thank you so much for blessing me with all of your knowledge. And I know I'll take each and every one of your stories and share it with my community as well too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's such an honor and privilege to be here. Thank you so much, Shika.
Yes, Shilian, I mean, I anyway told you that your son came in your life so that you could hold the brush, because your hands opened up after he was born. I think 5 days from the time he was born. Was it 5 days? Yeah.
3 days.
2 days. Oh my God. That's how much she wanted to hold her son, that her hands from knuckles became, and now she can hold a brush, and she's inspiring so many people. She's invited me to her studio because she thinks that, like she's told me, that coming to a studio is a totally different thing. So I will be there, Shiryan. I will be there to meet all of you across as well. But let me just not announce more things. I will just finish first bringing you all to India. and launching this book. That's a task, and then the next announcement. Because when I sit on this table, I just keep coming up with these ideas, and I just keep announcing, and I just keep adding more things to myself. So I've told myself not to announce anything anymore. Just keep quiet. Just be at bringing 100 moms to India. Just stop it at that. Just don't let anything else knock at your mind and say this also, this also, this also. So thanks, Aarti. Let's go to you. Impossible is possible. Let's give us a story. Give us some examples of stories when you meet women. When you meet women and they say that PCO is not possible to reverse. Pregnancy is not possible naturally. You know, when you meet these women and you're talking to them about it, give us some examples of what happens when these women come to you and they talk about it's impossible, you know,
So imagine, Shikha, a woman who's had 5 failed IUIs. You know, she's had 2 failed IVF. She's had 3 miscarriages, and she's coming and she's saying, I've tried everything. For her, this is an impossible task. And what I do is, and I believe in it, is that just forget the end goal, right? One step at a time. Right now, your body is not healed. So let's work on just healing. So the first step is, let us get your periods. Let us see that skin glow, because you are struggling with hair fall, you're struggling with weight. One step at a time. And why would a woman not conceive? We are meant to conceive. There is some disorder in the body. Once we reverse it, you're going to get conceived. Forget it. Because right now, when you're sitting where you're watching the end goal, like for you, the end goal of 100 moms look difficult, but I know how you've done it. One mom at a time, one interview at a time, and you've reached your 100. And that is what I believe worked. For Shillian, it was hours and hours of practice, right? So for this woman, it is just one day at a time. Follow the protocols, believe that you can do it. So the belief in you is very, very important. And your why, Shikha. The why of bringing the women together for you, the why for that woman to become a mother, the why for me to see women reverse. Once your why is clear, nothing seems impossible. So for me, that why for a woman has to be really strong, because when your why is strong, you take that step forward. If Shillian's why is not clear of seeing the baby or painting, her knuckles opening, there is no miracle as such. Everyone works for it, right? But we look at the end story. Wow, today we are saying that Shillian is able to draw, paint. Lucy at 74 is teaching others. It all looks impossible. Actually, there's a lot of hard work at every step taken to reach there. So when we listen to a story of success, I feel we need to look back of the 10 years behind that have gone. And then you feel that everyone has taken that teeny weeny step day by day. That's what I believe. Anything can be achieved if you know your why and you take those steps.
Bless you, Aarti. I mean, what work you are doing. I know that just first of all, knowing peace. You know, I mean, I've worked as a volunteer in my health diary space. You know, a few months back. You know, a few years back. I mean, when you talk to people, I mean, I get questions sometimes as simple as reversal naturally is very slow. Okay, that's the first thing they say. It is very slow. So, what is the possibility that we would be okay? But sometimes when they start on this path, it actually becomes pretty fast and you start seeing results. So, there's so many limiting beliefs that come in reversal naturally. And we started depending so much on medicines and you know, so many interventions. Not saying that we need these interventions when they're needed. I mean, if there's an accident, we need to go to the hospital and get that stitched. And there is no doubt that the medical world is needed. The diagnosis happens through the medical world only. So I never stand up and ever say that, you know, reversal natural is the only way. Forget about all the research has been done by the medical world, but the reversal is possible once you are in that space. You're trusting your body, reversing it, and you're doing an incredible work. I know that being an average housewife sometimes in India, we are struggling with the daily, you know, struggle, and then every step, as LJ said, being heavy, raising your children, and being heavy, and just to get like I've been like, this is the third time I'm getting fever this in last 10 days. My husband has not seen me this sick in last 10 years. He's told me, but whatever is happening, for me to just wake myself up, to get the kids ready to do that in a fever is tough. Holding on to a disease and then helping them to make them believe, it's a great work done. And your campaign, can you just quickly tell about it? Because all of us must support this campaign that's happening, because
Sure, thank you.
rural women, Indian women will be helped through that as well. Go ahead, Aarti.
So the campaign is called Main Hoon Na, which means I am there for you. You're not alone. And the idea is, so it's a very, very simple, popular step. Sandhya, you might know from Shah Rukh Khan's movie. So all we have to do is just do this. Can we all do it together? Just raise your hand.
Use a dance.
Aha, Lucy already got it. So that's that video has to be just posted. I'm going to give the content to copy paste with a hashtag Main Hoon Na. Main Hoon Na stands for I am there for you. And for every hashtag, we as a community are contributing sanitary pads for an underprivileged girl who are using rags, leaves, having a lot of infection because of that. There's also an option for y'all to contribute. That's just optional, not a compulsion. 325 Indian rupees for 3 years of sanitary pad contribution to one girl. It will take care of 3 years of sanitary pads for her. And we are doing a physical distribution in the coming month, meeting those girls and providing them. I've myself gone to a lot of places, spoken to them, seen what the situation is. We are associated with Rotary, and they are providing us with these sustainable sanitary pads. So they are not going to be doing any harm to the environment. And yeah, so just Main Hoon Na, just make a small video, nominate 3 more women to do that. Wow, LJ, you're doing it. So nominate 3 girls and just spread the mission. For every hashtag, my enterprise will donate. And if you wish to, there's a link to donate as well. I'll share all the details with Shikha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shikha.
I am absolutely supportive of them doing this. And yeah, so Aarti was a dancer. She's a salsa dancer. And before that, she was heading folk fitness. She was bringing folk into fitness. Sandhya,
I had to bring some dance element to
she's a dancer all her life. So she brought, even in her video, in her mission now, she's brought in a dance step of a famous movie. Sandhya, I know we just have 15 more minutes max to finish this, wrap it up. Sandhya, Impossible, what is the message? You work with a lot of weavers. Let's get the voice of weavers out from your side, because you're here. I mean, everybody has voices from different people. Your voice of weavers should be spoken. What do you think is impossible for the world to believe about weavers? And let's bring their voice out to the world.
So I'll start by saying that everybody has to just realize that it's possible to stay away from fast fashions. We are so addicted to fast fashions. With the click of a button, go to Amazon and buy your hundreds of t-shirts for X amount of dollars or rupees, and not realize that what a pollutant that is. Fashion is the biggest pollutant, the polluting industry. So we have to be conscious about that. Now, when I say weavers, why you go back to weavers is that that's completely sustainable in more than one way. One is that you select a fabric, or you pick up a fabric which is dear to you, which you like, which is a part of your senses, and you provide income to an entire community. And not only because you are paying for it, it's not going to be the $2 t-shirt that is going to be, you're going to invest in this. You're going to have pride in owning it. And when you have pride in owning something, you're not going to just throw it away. So you address many problems with just one act of yours of being responsible. So when I say there are hundreds and hundreds of art forms and crafts forms which are disappearing, and they need your recognition. We've taken them for granted. We've all taken these weavers, oh, what's there in making a fabric and what's happening? It's communities. It's our interaction with these communities. Our one responsible step will ensure that their entire community is alive and doing things. So the next generation takes on the craft. We talk, we are all talking in ice cubes in different cubicles to say, oh, this is not happening. This craft is dying. We don't see this anymore. But we are responsible because we are not, we are not buying them. We are not people who are appreciating these. So the next generation just leaves it. So if your parent is not, if let's say there's a weaver and he's weaving a fabric and the child does not see remuneration coming in, money coming in, or any kind of aspirations being filled in with that money, he's going to say, my father, whatever my parent is doing is not worthwhile. And he's going to choose to some other profession, and this art form goes away. It's a larger problem than you look at it. You think that, oh, if I just buy one piece, will that make a difference? Yes, because there'll be constant demand. And each one of us have to be responsible about it and not pick up just fast fashions, which are inexpensive and which can, because in the final run, you buy one $10 t-shirt, it's going to last you for one day, for one event. You will not be able to pick that up and go and wear it in another place. You'll say, oh, this is not looking so good. But you pick up a weave, you pick up a beautifully done embroidered fabric or something which has been crafted into. You'll appreciate it every time you pick it up, because there is some nuance you'll notice, a new nuance you'll notice every time you pick it up, every time you wear it. And it will stand there in your wardrobe, and look at the long life you're giving. So that's what my message to all of you is, that this is a day, come help the weavers, come help the women weavers, because they are the most. All the weaving across India or across most of the world is done by women, and they have the power to create. And this is like their, lives. This is like their livelihood. There's so much more attached to it. So while doing their chores, they're multitasking. And if you go to places like Arunachal Pradesh, they have small hand looms and pick looms, drawstring looms, and they're all working on the, looms and making weaving. And then they leave the loom, the small drawstring room, and go cook the meal for the house. So they're multitasking constantly. So come, let's celebrate that. Let's make sure that we buy one handloom product. I request all the 100 women moms in this book, one handloom product at least a month for yourself. It can be a small duster you're picking up. It could be a bag. It could be anything. But I really feel it will make a hell of a lot of difference, because we women together can make a movement. And that is such an important moment to make. So I rest my case. I think I have said enough on this, and I can share all the links to Shikha. You guys go to, there's so many platforms on where weavers are working, and they're there. Look at it. If you want to gift something, don't just pick up a pack of t-shirts or a pack of some random thing made by a mill. Look at the gift items. They're right from a $5 to whatever your budget is. There are weaves available. There are fabric made things available. Be sensitive about it and go ahead.
Yeah, but you don't rest your case when you come to Shikha. That's not happening. I told you that the word knocks at my head. Don't say things to me when things knock in my head, and you've just knocked my head, and I'm going to go and announce this. After the run
Yeah,
for
we're going to have, I really want to have a handloom week when all of you come.
but after run for
I want to organize this whole event with Shikha and the 100 moms, all about textiles, handlooms, movement, and what textiles do for you, how it exalts your own personality. What is it that you pick up, and why do you pick up? There's a whole journey on that. It's a long story, and it will all happen when we get to meet you all.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I know that I can see now, suddenly you can see, can you see Sandhya Raman suddenly getting so excited and feeling about it, and then she rubs it off to me. Sandhya, after Run for Moms, we'll have 1 week of Weavers Enlightenment Week. And
Totally.
we're going to do this together. You're going to spearhead that, and we're going to do 1 week and bring weavers across the world as well, and bring them to notice, and maybe do some charity and
Yes.
or at least buy products of very, very reliable thing. So start getting ready for that event. We'll lead it for 1 month, for 1 week. I don't want to say 1 month, 1 year anymore. 1 week at a time. For 1 week, we'll do weavers together, and we will definitely do it. LJ, you are there, and then we will end with Frank, and then we can say bye bye. And we have our starting or nights happening. LJ, impossible is possible. When your child is going to school in the morning, and you have this numbness, and then you have you have 3 of them to send them to school. It's impossible. But what happened, and it became possible. That, and of course, as Aarti said, the journey, the reversal, the whole journey is a journey in itself. So what's the message to that person who's right now raising children? Like, I just, believe me, I just like literally put my kid into the car pool thing and rushed up and just started this meeting. But there are many moms who are suffering with many things, And once the kids are gone, they crash and they're just like sitting saying it's impossible to ever feel energetic and lively. What's the message?
Wow. I have to tell you, because when I was going through the darkest days with my suffering and pain, raising my kids were really young. And, it was being present in that moment and trying to get through each and every day, attending to the children and putting their needs before my own. And I realized that, we all have the strength and the courage to dare to be doing what we think we can't do. And, Shika, when I was raising the children, like I said, my husband worked very long nights. I was there pretty much all day with them. And I said, when reflecting back all these years, and I say, stayed home with my kids for 15 years. I was a graduate student. We have strength within us that we can draw from. While my situation was probably not nearly as bad as other people who suffered from Guillain-Barre Syndrome. Many people end up in wheelchairs and on lung machines. I wasn't in that situation, but there's a resolve that you draw upon and you say, I'm enough. I've got this. I can do this. I have the strength. I have the wherewithal and the resolve to take care of my children, but find that critical moment of every day to do for me and attend to myself. Because I will share this, and I talked about it in my book, that I didn't go to a doctor. Shika, you were talking about doctors, and I don't advocate my healing journey for anyone, but it's what I chose because I was afraid to hear what I was suffering from and what I was going through. I did a holistic healing journey over 12 years. And with strength and courage and faith, I trusted the process. And I believed that I was enough to be able to care for my children, make myself well again, and affirm each and every day from the strength that I had that I would be okay, that all was well in my world. And when all is well in your world, everybody rises up and above together. It's the power of we. The power of we is what gives me strength to do what I do my entire life now. And to know that I had the help of a holistic community, healing, acupuncture, kinesiology, energy work. I've done it all, Chinese herbs, but I needed that community to help me rise above. And together, Frank and I are talking about the power of we. We are strong alone, but together we're stronger and better. And I've taken that from everybody that supported me in my journey and going forward. So I hope I've answered what you're looking for, Shika.
Yes, you have. And the fact that believing in yourself, and I think again Aarti would be somebody who she promotes the me time a lot in her community. The me time is very important to put aside, and so we're just putting because people are watching in comments and people will really watch it later, so everybody will get a whole thing. And even I know you're a plant-based person. We reverse our autoimmune in the house with whole food plant-based as well, so I totally know. Trusting when you start it, just to trust the whole food plant. I mean, for us, it was one fine day. I was talking to a reversal doctor, Dr. Nandita Shah. I owe a lot to her on the understanding I have about reversal. But she was on a call. My husband was on a call in another city. I was in another city. We were having the conference call, and just overnight, she just said, she was talking about dropping non-vegetarian, all this stuff and everything. And then she suddenly turned to me and she said, will you do it with him? And I said, yes, in like 2 seconds. I said, yes, I will. She's like, but I'm not telling you to support him because what he's doing is going to benefit you. If you do the same lifestyle, it's going to benefit you tremendously as well. So why should he do it alone and then later tell you after 5 years that you should do it? So I jumped in becoming vegan, whole food, plant based with him. That very second, we dropped all chemicals from our body. We don't use soaps. We don't use any chemicals. He used to put gels. He used to put all that stuff. We dropped everything one fine day, saying that that's the time we just drop it. And I really owe this thing to him. He's amazing. Rohit, my husband, he embraced it and he did it, and he gave me strength as well to do it with him, and we did it together, and we were shaking hands even before the reversal of disease actually happened, and telling people, you know what, you can reverse your disease. And they would just look at us and say, you haven't even reversed it, you've just like started 2 months back. And we knew it will take us 4 years or 5 years maybe to reverse it, but we were already shaking hands. We already had a health initiative going on where we were telling people, and I was inviting experts to come to my house. I opened up my living room for experts to come, and I would just keep, how I'm marketing, as if I'm selling something. It was all a free event, but I would just keep calling people up and say, come to this event, this will benefit you. And I did 12 such experts in my house, from yoga teachers to singer. We even got singer, like, a Sufi singer, because even singing heals you. Singing does heal. And we brought the element of singing as part of the healing, like you're talking about energy. So you've taken me back few years back when I did that. It's been 2-3 years since I did that. My second one was born, and I stopped doing all these events a long time back. So, okay, this has been beautiful, and we just have 5 more minutes. Frank is in here, and I don't know. I think Donna came in, she left. Francis came in, she left. But Frank came in and stayed back. So, Frank, you're meant to be here. As usual, when all women stay, International Women's Day, how can Frank not be there on International Women's Day? Speaking at the event, why did I not even think about it to put you on the poster when I was making the design, Frank? Frank, the stage is yours. Let's talk to some men through you about why your message of impossible is possible, of the support that you're giving verbally and in your events and through a lot of personal support for women. It's possible to support them and move forward. I know many men support many women, but they do not come out like you have to speak about it. So let's take these 5 minutes and talk about your message. And you know that all of us really love you. 99 women and 1 man in our book, always speaking of. So 6 women and 1 man again in the Women's Day celebration. Go ahead, Frank. Stage is yours.
Well, first of all, Pilama Washtelo. That means thank you very much. This is really, really good right here. And Sheikha is my now adopted child. I have now 6 daughters. I'm her American daddy. So, and when I look at you, Sheikha, you know what? If you see some of my younger pictures of my mother, you look a lot like her. Your eyes and your hair. And just the eyes are the windows to the soul. And wow, it is the power of we. And I'll tell you what, when I'm done with this walk, I don't know if you guys been watching my videos, but I'm going to keep walking. So we ain't done. We started something here. You started something, which started other groups that were doing something. There is a snowball effect, and it's all connecting. With Debbie and Suresh and what you're doing, and Lucy, all of you, and Shelly Ann. I mean, you know what? Some of us think we can see, and when you look at her art with the detail that is in her art, and when you understand what she had to overcome just to even see that, blows me away. And then if you give me the words to try and tell me women aren't powerful, that word woman alone itself means power to me. Okay. And I'm just going to share my testimony with you. I know for a fact, without any doubt in my heart, that you, all women, were personally anointed by God to be the givers of life and the nurturers. which means you're in tune with a certain feeling level that we don't have. Okay? You know that when you carry us for 9 months, you are attached in a way we'll never know that. You know, and I told LJ the other day, I delivered 3 of my children with my own hands, and I sang them with ceremonial songs into this world. My ex-wife with my second one said, I'm done. Wait, I want to get this over with. I said, are you ready to have the baby? And the midwife's nurse said, excuse me, but you have nothing to say about that. That's up to the child. And the midwife said, you just need to sit down. He knows what he's talking about. I've seen him do it. And then I started singing these spiritual songs because the baby has to be awake before it will move. And I woke him up with those spiritual songs. And within less than 5 minutes, they were in my arms. So, we underestimate who we are. I say live your greatness because you come from greatness. There was a master here that taught this. He said, I'm the same as the Father and you're the same as I am. You are literally the child of a living God. Your doubt was intentional by man who wanted to control. So they caused certain doubts. This has been going on for thousands of years, and it's all about power and control. But when you stop listening to the man world and start going back to the source, you start to understand truth on a whole different level. You're literally goddesses in an embryo state. Your Father in heaven, God, sent you here to scale you because he's trying to bring you to where he is at. This is what a father wants for his children. You are exactly who he is. And because of the stuff I've lived through, I've done a lot of studying to overcome. And I've learned about the brain. Science is now starting to catch up with God, but yet they're still way behind. And when you understand how this works, because I've taught my kids how to outsmart the bully. And when you outsmart hip, slick, and cool, which is that guy in between your ears that tells you you can't do it, you can outsmart any bully. What I know is that the average person has over 50 trillion cells in your body. Each cell contains 0.07 volts of electricity. Now, when you times that by 50 trillion, that's 3.5 billion potential volts of electricity. If you still don't know what that means those 12-volt batteries in your car that start the motor, that's 3 billion 12-volt batteries of potential electricity you have in your body. Now, tell me you don't have the power to heal yourself. If we have the power to make ourselves sick, we have the power to heal ourselves. And my mother knew these things that she taught me. And for the dads out there, first of all, my journey was a struggle because I was very loyal to my mother. And I don't know if some of you know the story. When I was 8 years old, that's where I got my PTSD. My mother woke me up screaming my name to help her. And I was standing in the hallway and my stepdad picked her up. I saw him throw her through the kitchen table, and then he left over to the side where I couldn't see him. And then next thing I know, he's back in the picture with the butcher knife, and he starts hitting my mom with the butcher knife, cutting her head open, her arms. She had big scars on her legs and her arms. And then I can still see the blood on the walls, the floor. I can still see the ambulance light coming through the living room. I still see the officers all over and them containing him and my mom on a gurney telling me that everything's going to be okay. What we don't talk about is, and I'm not trying to make this about me, but it is a we thing, even abuse. Children go through it right along with the moms. And I carried guilt for a lot of years because I wasn't tough enough to stop that man. I was scared because I knew he hated me and he'd kill me. And I carried that. Me and Lucy talked about that the other day when she did my interview. You know, you're only 8, but at 8 years old, all you can think of is you were ashamed of yourself because you couldn't stop that person from hurting the person you loved the most. So it took a lot of years. Later on in life, what happened is my mom got sober. She used, because of the pain, she got addicted to pain medications and booze to deal with all the abuse and all the trauma that she had experienced. And later on, finally got sober. And then because I was so angry, I left home when I was 16. I lived out on the streets for a while. I was done, man. I just didn't want to be around anybody anymore. And she got together with my best friend and they tricked me into getting to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And Alcoholics Anonymous actually saved my life. It gave me a new pair of glasses on how to look at things in life. And that's where my journey started. And one thing that I know, because also the way I was raised, the female energy, and me and LJ talk about this a lot, the power of we, because believe it or not, you were not designed. It is not in your DNA to do anything by yourself. This whole thing is a we thing. God created us to do that. He's got this puzzle that's like your picture that's right behind you, Shelly Ann. And each one of us is a piece of that puzzle. And it takes all of us to make that puzzle look the way it's supposed to look at the end. And that's why we need to re-encourage each other that your story is just as important as Tony Robbins' story or Dean Graziosi or mine or LJ's, because every one of us internalize differently. Not everybody's going to understand Frank's story, but they're going to understand Shelly Ann's, and they're going to understand Sanya's. Did I say that right? I liked what you said earlier. There's no such thing as 30 days of Mom's Day. It's every day. God don't take breaks every day, right? But I know without a doubt that, and I wish more men understood this, is because of the way we're designed, for a man or a woman to scale to their highest level, that other person that comes in there is designed to help you do that. I had an older lady, Filipino woman that was a healer tell me that. There's a reason why opposites attract. They bring into a situation where you're weak. They bring in the strength, and then vice versa. You have where they're weak and you help complete each other. When you are able to accept that, when you see a man and woman that can work together that way and accept each other's strengths, they're the most powerful force that's on this planet. When they learn how to accept it, it's that resistance is where we have our problems, is because we haven't learned how to get rid of it. And all that takes is a little landscaping, getting rid of the debris. That's what I call it. All these things that these stories that we collect that were given to us when we were little, that we don't know how to change. And that's why what we're doing right now is so important. And I love being a part of this, because I'm going to tell you guys what I used to build $1 million life insurance companies. I hired and trained agents and I taught them about momentum. Momentum is forward motion created or backed by action. The hardest thing to do is get something started, okay? But once the momentum starts, you want to go with it. You don't stop that. You keep it going and you keep it going, because when you stop it, now you have to start it all over again. And that's the hardest part, is starting it. We got a momentum going here. And that's why I got on there and said, hey, ladies, it's the month of woman. Let's use that to our advantage and just push this thing all the way. Because what it is how you sell something is you take your story and you turn it into a testimony. Okay. Once it's a testimony, now it becomes a belief system, and belief systems are backed by a lot of energy and a lot of passion. That's what attracts people. And it's healing at the same time. And I'm so honored to be a part of all this. With Sheikah, we were in a mastermind class together, and I knew what she was doing with the book. And for 2 weeks, I kept getting these words in me, and it kept telling, you need to talk to Sheikah. And finally, I just said, Sheikah, you know, I have something I need to ask you. And I said, and it's been bothering me for 2 weeks. And she said, well, just say it. And I said, my mom didn't have a voice. And as soon as I said that, her hands come up like this and said, absolutely. I didn't even have to ask the question. And then everybody's eyes watered up in there, and it just, you knew it was right. And I'm still touched. When my mom was growing up, women had to have a man co-sign for them to go into business for themselves. And she was always being told, even by my grandpa, I remember him saying it also, that that's not your place. It's a man's place. You need to worry about raising those kids. Well, she was single mom raising 3 kids by herself, trying to do the best she could. She just wanted things to be better. And they didn't pay women back then. So next to children, you know, it's like you didn't have a voice either. You know, they used to tell children it's better to be seen and not heard. Well, I felt the same way with women. They just didn't have voices, and I never understood that. And I have 5 beautiful daughters. And I teach my kids the true meaning of cool. Because Celie, my second to the oldest, was going through middle school, and she was struggling. And me and my children have always been real close. Matter of fact, you'll see me in a picture I posted not too long ago. My hair's in the middle of my back because I grew up around the Native American culture, and my kids are half Lakota Sioux Indian. And you'll see me holding on to this little tiny baby girl while I'm drumming and singing at a powwow. And I did that with all my kids. And Celie come home upset, and she goes, I asked her, I said, what's going on? I said, you know, something's different. You're not talking to me like you usually do. And I said, are you having a hard time at school? And she said, yeah. I said, are you having a hard time with the fitting in and the wanting to be popular? And she said, yeah. And I said, I'm going to tell you something. And I said, if you listen to me, I promise you'll never have ever have a problem being popular in school. And I said, Celie, I see the way you're dressing. I see the way you're trying to change yourself because you're trying to fit in. You're trying to be something you're not. But let me tell you what's going on. God only created one of you. You're special in that way. You are unique in that way. Why are you trying to be something you're not when you're already something nobody else can be? That's cool. And when you learn how to hold on to that and accept that you're already special in that way, because there's only one of you, then, and you stay true to that, I said, I promise you'll never have a problem being cool. People will always want to be around you, but they'll be the right people, because the negative ones will leave. And that's, she has never had a problem. I have some strong girls. They're pretty tough.
Awesome.
Emotionally.
Awesome, Frank. Thank you for this time. And I think it's very important to, hear your mom's voice. As it's going to be heard again and again and again through you, through us. And I always say this. I just still don't feel that when you speak about your mom being in the book, I feel that it's her talking anyway. I don't know. It sounds very crazy. It sounds very funny, that Frank is talking her story, but she, you know, she was an athlete. She was a fighter. She was somebody who people loved by the time she exited the world. But she was so determined that her voice must be heard that she's still speaking. And it's not some woo-woo. I am getting into the energy zone slowly, and I feel that any voice of hers is hers, and she is speaking, and she has a voice right here. Yeah, you know,
You know, when you did that, Shika, that actually challenged my soul, because I actually said a prayer and asked my Heavenly Father to please help guide this. And then I asked my mom if she could be present so that it was her words and not mine. And for 2 or 3 nights in a row, I was waking up 3 or 4 times crying because I could hear her voice. And then the last morning I woke up really early. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was really loud. You need to get up and start writing this. And when I read that to Marilyn, who knew my mother, she said, "Oh my God, Frank, that's not even you. That's Susan." And so, yeah. And my ex-sister-in-law is trying to get some more pictures for you too, right?
No, I feel that she is speaking through you, and that's why when I read the story, I told you I feel there's something else coming as well. There is some other thing that needs to be part of the story. But domestic violence, the message of your mom is that domestic violence must stop. I am standing up for it. I'm requesting. I'm not an activist who starts, with marches and goes out and fights. I am peacefully, really requesting everywhere. Domestic violence must stop, because you can see the effect of it. Frank's mom is not there anymore, but we can feel that effect even now. Even now, after years, we can feel when we hear Frank's story that it passes through generations. You know, those the kind of. So it's just I really request that we must stand up for against domestic violence, and maybe we will do an awareness campaign for domestic violence as well, to get more awareness and find out ways how we can. I mean, since your mom's story, I don't know what's happening, but I'm getting calls from a lot of people, and I've just heard even more. I mean, sometimes I maybe the whole thing that last 10 days I've been not feeling well, because the kind of stories that I'm not hearing, it just makes, like, I just don't even know that it can actually happen in reality to women. I have an ability to soak in a lot of stories. I've always had. I've always, as a kid, was told that I can soak in, and I've always been around listening to stories. But I think it's enough. We need to do something about it, but we will, Frank, together. Thank you for speaking up. And we've had everyone, we must wrap up this event. It's gone really long. It's almost 1.5 hours. And thank you for all the people who are actually watching in. Each one of you have brought in such beautiful, just some beautiful perspective. And I want to start this panel discussion for Impossible is Possible, so that I am possible, impossible is possible, everything is possible, and all of you given your messages. And Sandhya, we will speak on behalf of weavers, and we will do an event for a week for awareness campaign like Run for Moms for weavers across the world, and it'll actually get everybody from different countries to know their weavers. We wanted to do a veterans program with LJ. That's coming up, that we will speak for veterans of different countries. For Aarti, we are going to support her for her Main Hoona step and do that. And all of us must post videos with that step, and that the hashtag donates a lot of sanitary napkin to underprivileged girls. And your art, your YouTube channel will inspire many. The support you need, we are all there. LJ, we are there. I think Lucy is left. Lucy, you're just you're now right next to me. So we are doing many things together. And Frank, thank you so much for all your. Frank wants to say something, but we'll have to wrap it up fast, Frank, because we all need to start
No,
our.
it'll be really, really fast. I forgot to mention that me and LJ are doing the Live Your Greatness podcast. So it's about giving women's message out to the world and getting your voice heard. Also, we're going to start probably after the 15th, an early morning show for about 30 minutes to help fire you up and get you going and positive. So, and it'll be Frank or coffee with Frank and LJ. So we're meshing really good. So we're having fun.
Yeah, and Live Your Greatness podcast. You have 6 women sitting here who are living their greatness anyway, and really, really inspiring many people. Janine, you got left. You know that you are anyway inspiring. I just before we leave,
I'll
because
add on to Shikha, each and every person over here is very inspiring. And Frank, you spoke from the heart. And it's very, very touching to hear what you've expressed, and makes me more stronger that we as women can lend to each other the shoulder that we need to, you know.
so we need to get Janine speaking. Janine, uh, okay, why am I speaking now? And I don't want to leave Janine not speaking about it. Janine is an LGBTQ activist. She has a message for, and she is crushing it in her country by speaking very boldly about it. Janine, 2 minutes about your message about the LGBTQ, because yes, it's a Women's Day, but the inclusion is very important, and we must get your message out there for why you're an LGBTQ activist, and what's your message for everybody to embrace that.
We have a silent epidemic that is happening with our youth, our LGBTQ youth, and we need to be outspoken about it. And these kids we need them to stay here. So I am all about like squashing old religious beliefs about LGBTQ people and all that, because we need all of our youth to stay here. Whatever sexuality they are, we need them here, because each child, every youth has a gift to give to this universe. So we need to, I will always be outspoken until it's not a thing anymore. I'm gonna keep yapping about it, because this is I'm not okay with this. Nobody should be okay with this. We need our youth to stay here. We're not losing, no more losing our kids to suicide and self-harm, because this is no, not dead. No,
Yeah.
we need them here. They have magic, so they need to stay.
Yeah, and I know it's very close to your heart, Janine. Absolutely, no more losing kids on terms of any of these things, and I can feel you totally, and you speak about it very boldly, and you're absolutely open about it, and you're supporting many people. What incredible women we have! We've got a glimpse of such incredible women in this book, and when my whole mission is, I don't want thousands, I don't want lakhs, I don't want more people, I don't want billion, I don't want trillion followers. I want these 100 women to start speaking up their message and start showing up, because the ripple effect of these 100 will be millions and trillions and for generations to come. So the effort of this book will always be making these 100 women come together, giving them the stage, making sure that these 100 women thrive with their message. And I will do everything and anything, whatever it takes. Only these 100 women. And I know that work is done for generations to come. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for such important messages that all of you have given. And we will support all of you with whatever we can. My effort to bring you, I know it's taken it a little long, but the effort was that all of you are giving every day of your life to what you are doing. This stage can be at least provided. These 2 hours can be put aside just to hear these women who are doing it every single day, and they are making sure that the mark is made, and they're boldly standing up to do it. Yes, it's just one of the days, International Women's Day, but Doesn't matter. Whatever excuse we take, we will go ahead. And thank you for these 1.5 quarter to 2 hours. And I'm sorry if it's taken a little longer, but the messages were very important. And this will, I assure you, these videos are going to start getting rotated very soon, and all these messages will be heard. We've got people who have through and through joined us in the comments, so I thank each one of you. And I shall see you soon, and very soon in person. I don't know how I'm going to behave. I have this whole vision that I'm standing and women are coming in their cars and everybody's coming from the airports, and I'm just standing and receiving them. I feel it. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's a very surreal kind of a feeling, but I feel it. The destination is already decided. Sorry, we have 80 rooms. Somebody will have to just share the rooms, but we'll make it happen. We will make it happen, and all of us are going to make it happen together and meet 100 extraordinary women very soon with the book in their hand. Love you guys. See you. Bye bye. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.